Defend yourself against DDoS attacks by hiding your true IP address with ExpressVPN, and visit my custom link expressvpn.com/ghilliemaster in the description to find out how you can get an extra 3 months free. The Chop Shop DLC has been out for just over a month. It's been out a month and 5 days or so. And the honeymoon phase, if there even was one for the Chop Shop DLC, was kind of controversial from the beginning, ever since the release, but that's now over. So I want to do what I do for every update and assess the good and bad of the DLC as kind of a reflection going forward. Just like we always do, I'll go over the new gameplay activities, the cars, weapons, and rate them each differently. And then at the end, I'll give my overall score and rating of the DLC. So let's start off with the Chop Shop salvage yard itself and Yusuf Amir's return. Yusuf really only is in the DLC for a couple of cutscenes and then some phone calls afterwards. A majority of the DLC, you're talking to Jamal instead of Yusuf, which is a bit of a bummer because Yusuf Amir was the whole marketing point of the update, and he's just a funny character. But I did kind of expect this to be the case. The Chop Shop itself consists of 2 ways to make money, the weekly robberies and the tow truck missions. I guess you could count the safe as well, but that kind of correlates to the tow truck missions. The car robberies themselves are for the most part good, and when I say good, I mean from a gameplay perspective. I would say they are most similar to the auto shop contracts in the sense that there are 2 prep mission kind of things you have to do, but the new thing here with these is these have little mini missions that you travel to start up instead of launching them from the salvage yard, and these will often just have you grabbing an item that's nearby. And that's really what separates them from the other heist style missions. I like all of the robberies except for one, and that is the McTony robbery. There's just too much submersible driving in it, in my opinion. And then when you come out of the submarine, you have to drive the car 6 miles to your salvage yard all the way from Paleto Bay while losing the cops, which is doable if you just take the train tracks, lose the cops easily, but it's still annoying. My favorite one by far is definitely the one that takes place in the arena, just because it's an underutilized location. I still think they could do a lot more with the arena than just having arena war. But yeah, other than the McTony robbery, I don't really have many complaints about the mission design itself. The main gripe with the salvage yard is the fact that you can only do these robberies once a week. So once you do your 3 robberies, you have to wait until the refresh happens on Thursday, which is a big bummer. And that means in order to break even with the business itself costing about $6 million, you'd have to wait 6 weeks because you earn around $1 million a week by selling the cars. Of course, there is the other part of the business, the tow truck jobs, and I personally think this is a letdown overall as well. The tow trucks we can only use in the tow truck missions, and we can only tow the mission cars, so we can't even have any fun with it by towing other players' personal vehicles or just regular vehicles in free mode. I kind of wish they would come up with a way that restricted tow trucks from being able to tow each other, because that was the whole issue, if you remember, back at the very, very beginning days of GTA Online's life, when people found a way to glitch the tow truck into the game, and the physics would just glitch out because people would, like, chain them together. And that's probably why they are so restrictive with it, but it's just less fun. The tow truck missions are basically just the same exact mission over and over. Go and collect the car and bring it back. Not really that enjoyable, although to be fair, what else would they be, you know? It would have been really nice if we could use the Wastelander or maybe our Slam trucks to bring the cars back to the salvage yard. That would give those vehicles a reason to purchase them. Considering how limited the robberies are in terms of how often you can replay them, I think the business is more of a disappointment personally, which is a shame because, like I said, the robberies are fun for the most part. And even though you could just spam the tow truck jobs, well, I mean, you can't really spam those because the car takes time to salvage anyways. I don't want to buy a $6 million business just to do tow truck jobs. The other main gameplay content we got was the drift races. The drifting is really fun. It's very arcadey, but it's super, super fun, I gotta say. I've already said my complaints about the scoring system for the drift races themselves, but the mechanics are very fun, and it's just addicting to go and drift around in free mode. And it really does remind me of those old Need for Speed games that had those drift races, like Need for Speed Underground 2. We just need to have the ability to create drift races in the creator now, which I'm assuming will be added in the next update. They usually add stuff to the creator with every DLC. And overall, I think the drift tuning as well as the drift races are great additions. Moving on to the vehicle section of this video, some of you might disagree with what I'm about to say, but I'm going to mark this down as another negative overall. If we didn't get the cool cop cars in this update to own like the Stanier or the Gauntlet that's coming in the next couple months, we'd be left with like 8 SUVs. They went a little overboard on the SUV category, I think. And then add on the fact that a few of these cars or vehicles are bugged or have missing customization options, like the Illusion's headlight missing. The Dorado has a missing exhaust option that you can glitch on, but you can't put it on normally. The Astrobe GZ, you can't lower the suspension on without doing a merge glitch. And then we got a soft top Dominator GT before we got a hard top. The Dominator GT is probably one of my favorite cars of the update, not counting the cop cars. But I would have much preferred us getting a hardtop version of it other than the convertible. And then the HSW upgrades, there's only 2, and one is on a vehicle that we already have an HSW upgrade for, the Pajero ZX, and the other is a minivan. So that's just another letdown for me. I would have much rather had HSW upgrades on the Zentorno, which got a new livery, or the new Dominator GT. And then they could have just copied over the HSW upgrade from the already existing Vajero ZX, but instead we just got a duplicate one as its own HSW. And maybe the reason we don't have many HSW vehicles this time around is because they focus more on the drift tuning for certain vehicles, and that might have taken time away from just creating more HSW vehicles, but we'll never know for sure. Overall, the vehicles just didn't really excite me all that much though, aside from the cop cars, and I'm left wanting some of the other cop cars that already exist in the game, like the FIB Buffalo, the police bike, the regular police car. I'd like to be able to own these too and customize them, because clearly they're letting us own cop cars, so why not let us own all of them? Now on to the weapons. We got just one, the battle rifle. It's expensive, it's so limited on attachments, it's got a small magazine even with the extended mag. It's just not good or different, it doesn't stand out at all. It's more of the same. And I guess we can throw in the snowball launcher here too. That was a fun weapon while it lasted, but now we have no ammo for it because there's no snow, so we can't really use it anymore. So it's safe to say that the weapons were also let down in this update. I really did enjoy the snowball launcher though, and I wish we could use it all year round because it's really fun for trolling, but unfortunately we can't. The Chop Shop DLC did bring some nice quality of life updates, like being able to organize garages from the interaction menu. As far as the interaction menu change itself, in general, I don't even know if I would call that an improvement. It's different, but I don't know if it's necessarily better than it was before. I still find myself fumbling through the menu trying to find what I'm looking for from time to time. And maybe it's because I was just so used to the old menu that I'm not quite as good at navigating the new one yet. The main thing that I would like to see with the interaction menu is just letting us customize it to our own personal preference. Being able to choose what order things appear on the list would be so beneficial. Because I'm sure we all have different preferences. Some of us would rather have being able to request a personal vehicle right at the top of the page, while others might not want that there. I almost forgot about this entirely, but the Chop Shop update brought animals to online finally after 10 years, at least on the next-gen platforms. And with that, we got the Animal Photography Challenge, which is overall good, but it's not really that engaging content. It's more so just like a daily challenge thing. Like, no one's gonna be playing GT Online just for the sole reason that they added the ability to take pictures of animals for money. That's just not gonna happen. So while it is just a nice bonus, it's not really a giant piece of content. The animals definitely do make the world feel a bit more alive, especially up north in like the Grapeseed area where there's a bunch of farmland but no animals. Now there's a bunch of animals that occupy the land there. But here at the end, was the Chop Shop update the worst one we've ever had? I don't think so. But I wouldn't exactly call this a great update either. Just average. I think I would rank it slightly above the Drug Wars update. For a number rating, I would probably give it maybe a 6 out of 10. And we still do have some drip feed content that I can't rate just yet because it's not out yet, like the Cluck and Bell raid. I definitely think that has some potential to be better than even some of the main content we got day 1 of the DLC. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are about the Chop Shop DLC down in the comments. Did it live up to expectations or were you let down overall? If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel for more GT Online content. I also want to give a huge shout out to all my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.